Sorry it took a bit. I had some other stuff to work on. Plus, I also have pets I have to take care of. Anyway, here's part 2. Taking place not long after the events of Part 1, we open to the construction site of the now dubbed Iris Allen Theater, though things get a bit complicated as they found a body buried in the construction site. Meanwhile, Weekly is being pegged for Iris's murder, but Smirnoff doesn't buy it, so Fox is tasked to check out Iris's home to see if they can find any more evidence. Elsewhere, Solomon talks about his bridge and how it would immortalize him within the city, though scoffed when Raffles told him that it's gonna be done on schedule thanks to his new assistant, because she's a woman. Yep, just gives you more reason to want to see this guy taken down. Blacksad visits Iris's acting school to help clear Weekly's name, and talks to Alma, who is currently running the school. It's awkward to say the least, given how things ended for them in Red Soul, but John is able to learn that Rachel has been MIA since Iris's death and asks her to call if she shows up, or just call. John sneaks into Iris's home and tries to find clues, but encounters Fox, which leads to a heated confrontation, ending with Fox tripping Blacksad, but revealing a clue, one of Shelby's feathers. While tracking him down, he finds that Shelby's usual spots are empty, and though he tries to talk to Dill again, it's revealed that he's missing too. Luckily, he gets a lead with Dill's nurse and learns she quit her job and moved to a new home where Blacksad finds Dill, who spends his time painting with just his beak. Dill is all too happy to tell Blacksad what Solomon has made his father do to keep him alive. John shared the info to Smirnoff, and that's when he remembered the reports regarding the dead body at the construction site. What will Blacksad learn at the morgue? Will Weekly's name be cleared? Will Blacksad and Alma make amends? Why did Solomon really have Iris killed? Well, you'll have to read to find out. This two-parter was amazing, and yeah, it was pretty obvious given they both made #1 on my New Year's list, but going into greater detail, this series does a good job expanding the characters and mystery, while also diving into the 1950s Renaissance in New York, as we see the rise in popularity in both art and the industrial world during that era. Yes, we saw that in the previous stories, starting from Red Soul, however, this brings it full force, as we see those worlds collide with Iris and Solomon. Moving on to characters, we got Johnny, who goes through the emotional ringer as he deals with the guilt of Kent's death, the sadness of Iris's death, the desperation to save Weekly, and the conflict with Alma back in his life, all while having one of the most powerful men in the city looming over it all. Yet he keeps it together long enough to figure out what's going on, and even as he's going through it all, he comes out of it understanding who he is. He's definitely grown from his start in the series, and you even start to wonder if maybe this time things could work out for him without losing someone he's grown to care about. Next up, we got Weekly, whose role expands farther than just the comedic sidekick. Here, Weekly gets a wake-up call as he sees how the world really works, and narrowly avoids becoming the very tool Iris and Rachel criticize journalism for. We also see him at his most prideful, as when Solomon befriends him, he starts to believe he's a larger-than-life person who's making the big leagues, but luckily is saved from truly making the worst mistake of his life. You're left wondering where his character will go from here, but you'll have to see for yourself to understand why. Alma is more of an enigma. She's clearly grown since the events of Red Soul, coming off more cool-headed, though still showing she's quick to the trick. You also get to know more about her life before meeting Blacksad. Hell, before meeting Otto. We see her love for the art, her determination to help others. However, you're never sure when it comes to where her and John stand, given how things ended in Red Soul, but you can see there's some sort of spark. It definitely doesn't feel as rushed like before, but whether the two will get together, who knows. Next, we got Rachel and Iris. I'm doing them together as they both serve a similar purpose, the first to fight Solomon head-on. Iris, however, is a bit more subtle at first, mostly finding ways to screw him over, like talking the mayor into constructing a theater, but only really pushes further when she knows he played a part in Kent's death. Iris is also a kind soul where John feels true friendship with, and you admire the love she feels for the people around her and hopes to pass it on, making it more heartbreaking when she is so brutally murdered, while Rachel is more blunt. She cuts to the bullshit, as again, her and Weekly's discussion is a powerful moment, not just because she's disappointed in him for buying Solomon's lies, but because of how obvious the lie is. As before the confrontation, she hears some of the waitresses complain how they were treated and how they were promised so much after law school, but forced to just deal with it because the people around them tell them so. I can't spoil her role in part 2, but let's just say we haven't seen the last of her, and I welcome it. Next up, the seagull killer without a choice, Shelby. Shelby's a character that right from the get-go, you want him and his son to be okay. okay, yet also find him terrifying because, as his son tells Blacksad, his father gave up on the world. He got screwed over so badly that by this point, all he cares about is keeping Dill alive. He might not be the big bad, but you wonder if this death machine is someone Blacksad can beat. Finally, I'm going to talk about the big bad, Solomon, and just like Karup from the Arctic Nation or Gallows in Red Soul, it's obvious he's behind it all. But the question is more of the why, not the who. He's essentially Blacksad's perfect opposite. While John is a feline that deals with bills and will throw away money and his life to help a soul in need, Solomon is a bird of prey with tons of money and will kill anyone to stay on top and maintain his legacy. Yet they also have similarities, as they're both charismatic enough to get people to trust them, like Weekly did. They both have an appreciation for architecture, of course, and they're both more clever than they lead on, making him a perfect foe for Blacksad. Like Rachel, I won't spoil the end, but also like Rachel, we definitely haven't seen the last of this Falcon. As for the rest of the cast, like Fox, Smirnoff, and Supermanny, they're fun characters, but not really enough to dive into in depth. Though Smirnoff in here is a bit more on edge, as he worries he might be too emotionally compromised for this case, while Fox is playing off more like a comic foil for John to clown on, and Supermanny being the classic noir trope of the newsboy archetype, and handled well. Granito is still on art, still amazing, but also has some surprises like Dill's flashback told via his paintings that has a color palette and textures in the style of a Van Gogh painting, which is just stunning. So yeah, go read Blacksad, They All Fall Down Part 1 and 2. They're great noir mysteries that you can tell that both Canales and Granito took their time, not just coming up with the mystery, but expanding the world of Blacksad, as both his allies and his actions leave a bigger impact on the city. I'll say, they might not be my favorite story in the series, but definitely one of the best. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell for updates, and follow me on Blue Sky. Next time, well, it's April, and I did say that I would cover it every April. So next time, we're going to be talking about a different cat. Later.